whatever that chick's name, the Sweeney chick, Sydney Sweeney, I think is her name. Hot chick, right? Like, man, why would anyone use her for advertising? I chose this topic because we do a lot of advertising here at the Resplendent Crow. We spend a lot of money on advertising. We do a lot of different kinds of advertising. So I feel like I'm a pretty well-informed person to talk to you guys about advertising and exactly what's going on. We'll talk about this whole American Eagle thing. We'll talk about advertising in general. And kind of what's changed a little bit, and then we'll do, get into it. I'll answer all you guys' questions, do comments, and we'll see where the conversation goes. These conversations always seem to go all over the place. But yeah, here at the Resplendent Crow, we are an internet-based company, so we have to advertise a lot. So we spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month advertising on different platforms, and I'll talk to you guys about how we advertise, what kind of advertising work for us, how advertising has changed. That's a big one. Advertising has changed a lot in the last probably 6 months. And you guys can see this Sydney Sweeney ad with American Eagle, and that tells you all you need to know. Like, advertising has changed a bunch, and it's not changing in a way that's becoming more innovative. It's going back to the way it used to be, right? I mean, we all know that attractive people get clicks, right? Attractive people get attention, whether you're a man or a woman. Brad Pitt's a good-looking guy. This Sydney Sweeney's a good-looking chick, and when you say something like good genes, there's a double entendre there. And the truth is that beautiful people have always got most of the everything. Like they get the access to things, they get the opportunities. Taller men are generally more successful than short men. Chicks with big tits usually get more attention and opportunities than chicks with little boobs. It's just humans, right? It's just how we are. You can't change it. And the society tried for a long time. There was a lot of what's called societal engineering. They tried to fix this, and you guys can remember when Victoria's Secret took out all the hot chicks, and they put in all the fatties, and this is basically, they got shamed in doing this kind of thing. You'd see a lot of these businesses that would basically, they would pander to whatever the in vogue thing was, whether it was a social thing or an economic thing, and they just kind of pandered to whoever's going to spend money. And anyway, but you saw the advertising change, right? We had all the couples that everything became interraced, intermixed. You always had to have like lesbian representation, and advertising changed basically because everyone was getting free money. And I've told you guys 1,000 times on these streams that free money is never respected. Free money is not spent well. And anyway, that's kind of what happened. So anyway, we'll get down to it. My name's Eric. Welcome. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a furniture boutique company. We make high-end furniture. We paint furniture. We're known for our high-gloss lacquer coating, and we ship pieces all over America. We ship pieces to the Northeast a lot to the Miami area, a lot to the Austin and Dallas regions. We ship to places like Colorado, a little bit to the West Coast, not so much. West Coast hasn't really warmed up to lacquered furniture. West Coast still really likes that 50s kind of vibe, the Hollywood Regency look, from the 30s on to about the 60s. They're kind of stuck in that era, but we do send furniture out there that is high gloss lacquered. One of the things that we always get asked is, does our paint have VOCs in it, right? They want to know, is it solvent based, is it water based? And we always have to tell them, no, it's solvent based, and there's lots of VOCs, and there's nothing safe about it, which is why I have a business. And that's something that's very different from the East Coast and the West Coast. So anyway, that's our business. It's good business. It's a small 7-figure business, and probably not going to get rich doing it, but we've always got business coming in. We're making jobs for people. We're teaching people how to do things. We show people how to make things, how to fix things, a lot of assembly work, shipping work, things like that. We put a lot of people to work that don't have educations, that are just kind of normal people like myself. I talk about this as someone, I never graduated high school. I just busted my ass as a furniture maker all over America, and finally got to a place where I could have my own company. And that's what I try to teach people here, is that you can absolutely do this, but you have to get good at something, right? You can't just say, oh, well, I want to be a business owner and not really be good at anything. It's going to be very difficult for you to do that. So anyway, talk for today is obviously advertising, okay? So advertising, right? So advertising is basically just letting people know you exist, right? And in the internet age, internet advertising has become more important now than ever. Like we used to use, like the yellow pages was the big thing. You'd pick up the yellow pages, go to the back of it, and there'd be all these advertisements. Those days are over, right? Now we use platforms like Google. We use platforms like Meta, which is going to be your Facebook and Instagram. We use Pinterest. These are real popular, and these are the main avenues to get your brand out to people, right? To get them to know that you exist. And there's different kinds of ways to advertise, but the way that we advertise is completely changed too. Like we do most of our advertising in video now. Like we used to do lots of pictures. We used to do lots of really, I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like really curated, kind of highly filtered and perfected pictures. You know, we don't do a lot of that anymore. Now it's just basically doing video, showing what it is that our life is like. We don't even advertise about our furniture per se. What we generally do is just show people what our life is like. And a lot of people don't understand this. This is the big change that is coming to advertising, right? And this is one of the big things that's very different from, say, terrestrial television advertising, internet advertising, like when you advertise on a show per se, to where you do static advertising, like with pictures and Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. It's all very different, and you have to put different kinds of advertising on every platform. Like no two platforms are the same. What works here on YouTube isn't going to work on Instagram, you know, or what works on YouTube, even though it's Google, isn't necessarily going to work on your Google Ads account. They're very different. You know, so advertising has changed a ton. Now, what's cool about this Sydney Sweeney thing is that companies are realizing that they want to get back to making money, right? Money is getting harder to come by, so you got to be smarter with how you spend your dollars, right? And the oldest way to get money or to get eyeballs is big tits, right? That's the only way to put it. You know, I know chicks watch this stuff too, but it's the truth. Same thing with guys. You know, guys that got muscles, big chest. They got the strong jaw, they got the really nice hair, like. We're always attracted to beautiful people, and here's the thing, like everybody, every sex is attracted to beautiful people, and it's the oldest thing there is. And when these people they almost like try and denigrate you for using this human psychology, they're just showing their cards. Like these are all losers. These are all people that they're ugly people that are unsuccessful, they're unhappy in life. They're just looking for attention and clicks. And truth is that business is hard. Business is so damn hard. You have to use tried and true methods if you're gonna get eyeballs on your business. You can have the most amazing product. I've said it a million times. You can have the most amazing product there is. If no one knows you exist, it doesn't matter. You know, like there's fantastic furniture makers that are amazing, but no one knows who they are. You know, unless you're in this niche kind of furniture thing. But the chicks that buy my furniture, they don't care who a furniture maker is. They just want to see nice, shiny furniture. You know, so I would never advertise as like a primo furniture maker. I'm just going to show nice, beautiful, highly lacquered, glossy furniture to chicks. Like that's my target audience, so that's who I'm going to market towards. You know, no one cares if I'm a good furniture maker or not. They don't care about me as a person. They care about the beautiful product that I have. So we use advertising that showcases the beautiful product. You know, so advertising it's very tricky, and like I said, it's changed so much over the years. So, you know, we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to tell you guys, I'll talk to you guys next about how we started advertising as a young company and what we're doing today, which is so different from what we were doing in the beginning. Because again, things are constantly changing, and I love it, man. I think it's great. I hope that every company in America uses chicks with big tits and blonde hair, blue eyes, all this kind of stuff, and they use guys with, you know, whatever, socks in their pants and big shoulders and muscles, and because it works. You know, I want to go back to seeing the car advertisements with the big engines, you know, and the squealing tires, like Joe Dirt says. Like that's what I want to see, and that's the stuff that sells. You know, so a lot of these companies are going back to that. Like they're done with this soy boy, fat chick advertising because it doesn't work. You know, it looks good when you can tell all your peers, you know, oh, we're so woke and we're so amazing. We got this multicultural group of people to showcase our product. And the truth is, you're not making any money, you know, and your advertising sucks. So companies are going back to what works, you know, and every industry is different, you know. So the things that work in our industry, very different than the things that work in clothing, the things that work in whatever consumer products, automotive, fashion, all these kind of, they're all very different, you know. So that's what's kind of going on. So, okay, so who we got in here today? So Masha is in here, and we got Strawberry Shortcake is in here. We got, what's this? Lover Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty, all right. Glad to see you're all here. Everyone hit the like button, add the discussion, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, agree, disagree, all these kind of things, but this is what we're going to talk about. Okay, so the Resplendent Crow is our business, right? We do high-gloss lacquered furniture. We ship it all over America. The truth is that my customer is going to be your middle-aged to older white woman with an income of probably about $1 million a year. Like, this is the people, you know, man, maybe $750 a year and up, right? These are the people that generally are going to buy our furniture, right? So when we advertise, we're always going to be thinking about, well, who's that customer, right? What is that customer into? What do they want to see? And in the beginning of this company, we would take pictures of everything we had. Like anything that got done, we'd take tons of pictures of it, and we'd literally have thousands and thousands of pictures. And we would post this stuff on Meta, right? Which used to be just Facebook, but then it became Facebook and Instagram, right? So we'd post that stuff, and then we put a little bit of stuff on Pinterest. There was a little bit of action there, but that's where we kind of put all the stuff. And it would always be some kind of a, a nice static photo of a piece of furniture in kind of a portrait kind of area. And it did okay. Like you'd get likes of like, I don't know, you probably get 200 to 400 likes per photo, and that was good. It was decent. And we built up our Instagram account up to about, like 80 or 90,000 followers. And it turned into where, that was good for whatever, 50,000 a month up to, during COVID, 250,000 a month, right, in revenue, just based on pictures, right? Well, after COVID happened, like a lot of things changed. And so what we found out we had to do is we had to move from doing the static photos, and let's back up there. Okay, so prior to COVID, right, so this would be, 2019, 2020, we would spend anywhere from, I don't know, $1,000 to $3,000 a month on advertising, right? And the whole, the high level rule on your advertising is you want your advertising to be about 10% of your revenue, right? So if you're going to spend $3,000 on advertising, you really want your goal to be, maybe $30,000 in revenue, right? You want to be generating quite a bit of revenue for that advertising. And it fluctuates. Some months you get no revenue, other months you get tons of revenue. Like it just kind of moves around depending on what kind of advertising you have, right? What kind of products you're showing, what people are looking for, these kind of things, So that's what we were spending kind of prior to COVID. Well, COVID happened, and then everyone was stuck indoors, and everybody needed furniture, and they were all moving houses, and we literally stopped advertising. So we went from where we would spend thousands of dollars a month on advertising on different platforms to literally spending zero for about 3 years. So we didn't spend $1 because we didn't need to. There was just so much action. Everybody was on the internet. So we didn't have to spend anything. We didn't really advertise much. We didn't really push our social media that much because sales were easy, right? And I've told you guys, easy money is never respected, right? And we are a perfect example of that, okay? Now, fast forward past COVID. Past COVID, sales start to decline because what happened is during COVID, we front-loaded a ton of eyeballs, a ton of sales because no one had anything to do, right? So we basically stole sales from, say, 2023, 2024, 2025. And we felt that for years after COVID. So what we had to do is we had to ramp up our advertising, right? So we would ramp our advertising up to whatever, anywhere from $5,000 to as much as $10,000 a month on Meta specifically, but again, also Pinterest. We also tried a little bit of Google Ads. Google Ads has never seemed to work for us, but we would spend all this money on advertising. And truth is, we weren't seeing the kind of returns that we wanted to see. And we also had a social media manager that would kind of help us to fine-tune our advertising and really understand where our customers were coming from, right? Where were the conversions coming from? Because when you advertise on certain platforms, you can trace where the clicks come from. You kind of figure out where your customers, where the genesis is that they find you from. So anyway, point is that we were spending all this money, and it just wasn't working. The sales we were getting were okay, but they were very unpredictable, right? Which is never good because advertising, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's no like proven system that I know that is going to get you to get whatever 10x of your revenue, or excuse me, 10x of your spend on advertising to convert to revenue. Like we haven't figured that out. And the truth is there's just no good way to do it. But some of the things that we've learned over the years, so one of the things that really worked for us, and I think we're starting to see a lot more people doing this, is we went from doing a lot of static photos, which got pretty good traction during COVID, to doing a lot more video. We're doing videos of our furniture. We're kind of showing a little more video in people's homes and things like that. That is turning out to be a lot better. You're getting a lot more conversion and eyeballs from that kind of traffic, right? You're getting, what do they call? They would be called like, they'd be basically like website visits, like people clicking on your ad in Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, places like this, and then coming to your website and looking for products, right? So because there's cookies on people's websites, or excuse me, on people's computers, you can track, right? So they'll know that, this person clicked on your ad from Instagram, right? They clicked on a picture but then they went to your website, right? And then from your website, maybe they went off and looked at something completely different, right? But then maybe a day later, they come back to your website. The cookies within that computer send information back to Meta and Google and let them know where your customer is going, what they're doing before they click on your product, right? Or before they buy on your product. There's all kinds of data that's kind of behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, the video traffic was going really good. But what's happened now is a lot of the old advertising models are starting to break, right? Google isn't the advertising on Google is just dog shit. Like it's not what it used to be. You guys will just Google anything. Go Google like if we're in furniture, Google foam furniture, right? The ads are gonna show up are gonna be like Home Depot, Amazon, Wayfair, I don't know, maybe Paragold. It's gonna be all these people that are paying just to have their search show up first on Google, even if they don't sell your product, which is horrible if you're advertising on these platforms, because they're just stealing your money is basically what they're doing, because they're going to get revenue from your monthly allotment of advertising dollars. They're going to get $1 for that click or whatever the price is, and it's bullshit. They shouldn't, because they're not actually providing good value to you for the query that people are using on Google, or YouTube or whatever the Google place. So Google's really in a lot of trouble, So anyway, what we did is we went away from doing videos of our furniture, and what we've shifted to, which has gotten an immense amount of traffic, like an immense amount of traffic, is we've just started showing our lifestyle. And what that means is that we have a lot of our furniture, because we're a furniture company, right? So we have a lot of that furniture at our home. So what we've done is we have a really, I've talked about it many times, we have a really, really nice house. Like it's a house we should never been able to get, but I'll give the backstory someday. But the point is that we have a really, really cool house. So we just started going through and redoing all of the rooms. So we pick a room, my wife redoes it, I bitch about it the whole time, and usually I'll end up making furniture for it. We'll redo the windows, we'll put, I did an arch in one of them, and we just start doing all kinds of wallpaper, and we basically just started catering to the people that would buy our furniture, right? So we start making really high-end rooms using really beautiful papers, hardware, like I said, things that we sell, big mirrors, chandeliers, all these kind of things. And what's happened is the people watch that content, and the conversion rate on people watching that content is far and away better than the conversion rate of just static pictures or simple video advertising. Like it's significantly better. Like people, I won't say they want to be entertained, but I think they want to see your products in the setting where they can kind of envision it in their own place, right? It'd be like if you're into cars, like you want to see a guy working on the car that you're into. You want to see a guy with a badass garage with really cool tools, that kind of stuff. It's very, very similar in that regard. So that's the stuff that we're seeing, and I think that's kind of what you're starting to see today in this advertising. I think people are going to move away from this kind of, I call it political, or not, social engineering. Like they want you to think that every couple is a black guy, a white guy, or a black guy and a white woman and an Asian child, right? And that stuff doesn't work. Like people see that kind of stuff and they instinctively go like, wait a minute, that's not my life, But society, for whatever reason, wants you to believe that's like how everybody is, and it's just not. So this model of trying to, I wouldn't say trick people, but make them believe that all this kind of stuff is okay, and you're weird if you don't think that this is a cool thing. I think all that shit's getting ready to go out the window. That's why you're seeing this American Eagle ad, and this is kind of what I started off this conversation talking about. Big tits sell, hot chicks can sell anything, especially if you're a man. Holy hell. And the other thing, like the psychology between men and women, women especially love other beautiful women. And the truth is that it ain't in the eyes of the beholder. All women kind of know what a beautiful woman looks like, and they all would kind of agree on what a beautiful woman looks like. It's not to say that every woman thinks that way, but if you ask 100 women, is Sydney Sweeney beautiful? 90 of them are probably going to say, yeah. It'd be like the same thing with a man. You ask a man, I would say like David Goggins or something like that. He's a well-known guy in the fitness space, but is David Goggins a good-looking man? Most guys say, yeah, it's a pretty fucking good-looking guy. Like we all kind of agree on these things. And you ask men, what's a beautiful chick? Is Sydney Sweeney a beautiful chick? 99 men out of 100 are going to say, yeah, that chick's freaking smoking hot. And same thing with women. You ask 99 women, is David Goggins a good-looking man? 99 women will be like, yeah. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with kind of accepting the reality of the way the world really is, not this bullshit, like I said, social engineering garbage that we've been fed ever since COVID. Like, COVID just did a number on everything. It did a number on everybody, and nobody, not to say nobody, but not enough people were willing to say, like, no, this is bullshit. Like, I don't believe any of this stuff. Like, the way you guys are showing me is disgusting. Like, I think this is sick. You know, like, we all saw the Victoria's Secret's ads, right? Remember when they put the fat chicks in Victoria's Secret? They got rid of Miranda Kerr and, I don't know, Olivia Munn or whoever all those hot chicks were. They got rid of all those chicks and put in a bunch of fatties, you know, and their stock went to, I mean, the company damn near went bankrupt, you know, and it should have. They took out the Angel show. Remember that? They weren't going to do the Angel runway thing anymore because it was offensive to fat people. Companies are over it. Like, people are over it. There's enough people now saying, you know what, I'm not buying your hot panties if you're going to advertise as some fat chick, you know, wearing it. Like, it's not going to happen. I don't want to picture my wife, you know, wearing your skimpy panties and you got some fatty in there. Like, anyway, I don't. I get, my language is not very politically correct, and I'm not. I don't want to act that way. I don't want to be I don't want to talk like a doctor or a professor, because I'm not. I'm just a dumb furniture maker. Busted his ass, got a little company going here with my wife. My wife, I mean, she's done more work than I have. But point is that we've grown this thing into something that is real, and we're not going to be told that we have to be fake in order to keep this thing going. You know, so anyway, I'll stop there. We'll go through comments real quick, and I see we've got comments coming in, and we'll kind of go back and forth with people. But I appreciate everyone being here. I think I've been going about 21 minutes, so I appreciate everyone being here. Hit the like button, add to the discussion, and let's bat it around. All right, back up here. So who do we have in here today? So who's got this, is it Denovic or Novish, maybe? Denovic? See, I'm not a dumb business idea. All my work is voluntary boat building, restoring old big ships. It's not a dumb business idea. All my work is voluntary boat building, restoring old big boats. That is awesome. Like, there was another guy in here who was from, I want to say he was from Sweden or Norway, I forget which, and did the same thing. And it's freaking awesome. Like, I would love to work on boats. Like, my background is in aerospace, working on jets. And the nautical and the aerospace industry actually share a lot of technology as it pertains to things like honeycomb sandwich panels and composites and things like that, like edge fills and different kinds of epoxies and void fillers and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to work on boats. Like, I grew up in Oregon on the water, and we always had ski boats and stuff like that. But for the last, I would say, probably 4 years, I've wanted something like a 40, 50-foot yacht, maybe a trawler, you know, something with a couple of diesel motors in it that I could fix up, right? Like, I own a furniture company. I got a big freaking shop here. I could literally park the boat right over here and work on this boat, fix up the interior. And I live on the Mississippi River, so I could put that thing on the Mississippi River and do the Great Loop. You know, and I've wanted to do that so freaking bad. Like, I've probably got, I don't know, maybe another 10 years and I could probably do it. I think when I get in my 50s, maybe that's something that I'll have time for. But god damn, I want to do that so bad. I would love to work on boats. So I'm hyper envious of anyone that gets to work on anything in the nautical industry. Like, like, in my mind, that sounds like an amazing job, you know. So anyway, yeah, it's cool that you get to do that. I'm curious what your age is. You said you do it voluntarily. I'm guessing this is something you may do on the side, or maybe you're retired. Not really a young man's game, I would imagine, but who knows? So yeah, very cool job. Okay, is that Felder machines? Our Felders have the same colors? No. My shop. So my shop is almost everything I buy is a Grizzly tool. Because I live in Missouri, we have the company Grizzly here, right? And some people talk shit on Grizzly machines. I always thought they were fine, but they're founded right here in Missouri, so I kind of take a lot of pride in having a lot of Grizzly machines. It's a great company. I like that company because I feel like they make really good quality tools that are at a reasonable price. I know they're all made, and I think they're made in Taiwan or China or something like that. But it's a cheaper tool that's of decent quality that gives people the opportunity to make furniture, right? To learn the skill of making things, of being able to build shit, basically. And so I've always liked Grizzly. Felder is an amazing tool company, but their tools are way too expensive for what I do. And also, I'm a boutique company. I'm not ripping out gobs of shit. I don't have big, horizontal panel saws, stuff like that. I've got a vertical panel saw, and that's really about it. We make everything from scratch here. We don't CNC cut anything. We hand cut all of our dados, all of our rabbets. Everything's done with handheld routers and table saws, panel saws, things like that. But yeah, their tools are amazing. Like I said, I see them all the time, and like I would even like to have one of their panel saws, but just too expensive in my opinion, And one of these days we'll probably get into buying some new tools. But my next tool is going to be I'm going to buy a CNC. I think it's probably the next thing I'm going to buy. But yeah, great tools. If you can afford them, or like Schmee's another good one. That SCMI, we always call it Schmee. I don't know if that's really what it's called, but a great Italian company. So yeah, but great tools. Okay. All right, Son's in here, man. Son, good to see you, dude. It's been a while. I've been gone. I just kind of took a break from chatting and talking and doing all these streams and stuff like that. It's just been too damn hot here. I think I talked about it yesterday. It gets so hot that my phone, after like 30 minutes, would shut down because it's just too damn hot. So I took about a week off of doing my streams, but I'm going to do my stream. And one thing I need to mention, guys, sorry, I forgot to talk about this all week, but I should have put it in my comments. I'll probably talk about it again for the next week or two, but I'm moving a lot of these talks over to my Uneducated Business Owner YouTube site, right? Which I never promote, I never talk about it. I put a couple videos out there, but what that is that's more about talking about, that's kind of more like videos of talking about what's going on in the world, as opposed to doing live streams. It's gonna be more of the YouTube videos, but the live streams will be there as well. So it'll be less modern woodrunner, more uneducated business owner. And that name comes from a guy that I follow named The Uneducated Economist, who is also from Oregon, who's a guy in the wood business. Sells 2x4s and kind of like a small Home Depot type business out there. Does lumber sales retail, and he always talks about the economy. But I want to talk about being a business owner and what business is really like from like I said, an uneducated person's point of view. But it's like I said, it's going to be more video content, and then I'll do the lives over there. So that's kind of what's going on. But I'll keep talking about it. I haven't talked about it too much. So Son, good to see you, man. Okay, in here. So let's see. Dinavik is Danish. Oh wow. 39, retired. I'm working on a 135-foot Norwegian ship. What the fuck? A 135 Norwegian ship, 185 tons. That's a little bit bigger than I was thinking. Holy smokes, man. That's like a damn cruise ship. It seems like people in your neck of the woods, like Denmark and all that kind of stuff, you must have your nautical industry must be what our timber industry is here, like in the Pacific Northwest. It seems like y'all are just, everyone is in that industry. I've talked to just numerous people from that neck of the woods, Nordic countries, all that kind of stuff. That's what they do. I don't know anything about it. I'm not claiming to know any of that, but that's really cool. I think that like I said, that would be a dream job. 135 feet, man, I wouldn't even know where to begin. That's really cool, man, and it's good that you get to do something you really like, and it sounds like, why else would you do that kind of stuff? So yeah, I'm really, how the hell did you get into that industry? I'm very curious. And then what did you do? What did you retire from? Okay, we got our Felders donated from the company. But we got, well, that's cool. Like I said, the Felder tools are just, like I said, they are so damn expensive, but they're super high quality. They never fall apart. They last forever, and that's what you want to get. Like I said, I use a lot of Grizzly tools. A lot of people here like Saw Stop. They like Powermatic is probably another brand that might be on par with something like Felder. Very high quality, made in Tennessee, American made. Pretty expensive, but reasonably affordable, but extremely high quality. So, okay, they're nice machines, but yes, very expensive. But yeah, that's what it is. Like you get what you pay for. I think everyone kind of knows that at this point. You're gonna like this Grizzly. I think it's a 3-horse resaw. Those things are they're probably $2,000 or $3,000. Used. Maybe I forget what they are new. But if you're buying a Felder one of those, that would be like $7,000. It'd be very expensive. And again, we don't do the volume, I think, to warrant that kind of price for a machine. Even though they're great machines, fantastic motors, right? That's a big thing. When you buy lower grade tools or cheaper tools, it's not the quality of the tool, right? They're all made of cast iron. They all use the same kind of blades. They've all got the same kind of ball bearings. but where the savings comes is in the motors, right? So you're going to get cheaper Taiwanese or Chinese-made motors on cheaper tools, whereas your really nice high-end tools, they're going to be Leeson motors or they're going to be Baldor motors, which last forever. You know, those are the higher, at least here in America. I'm not sure what, I don't know what Felder uses or what like Laguna uses. I don't know those machines in particular, but like for us here in America, like I said, Baldor and Leeson, I think are the top of the line when it comes to motors, and that's the stuff you're going to get with your higher end machines, you know. So it's yeah, that's where you save the money. And like I said, I've got two Grizzly table saws over here, and I swapped out one of the 3-horse motors here about a year or two ago, and the motors are like, I want to say I paid like maybe $300 or $400 for the motor. They're not very expensive, not too bad to change out, but you change those things out every 10 years or so. So it is what it is, you know. So anyway, all right, so Sleeper Hound is in your Sleeper Hound. Good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. See, it's a balance on price, quality, and need. Yeah, right, and that's the thing. You know, it'd be nice to have some, I'd love to have a whole bunch of Powermatic tools, to be quite honest with you, but this is what we could afford. And truth is that when we acquired this building, we were only renting out like maybe like 2,000 square feet. It's almost 20,000 square feet. But we slowly worked our way over. And then finally, when my wife met me, we decided to put a wood shop in here. The owner of the building actually had bought an entire suite of tools, like everything, from Grizzly, and he sold it to me for like almost next to nothing. I think we paid like, it was something like $3,500 for like 8 or 9 like 3-horse machines. It's an amazing deal, and I've used them forever and been super grateful for it. And but yeah, it is what it is. If we were turning out more volume, I don't think that these machines would keep up. We'd probably need a higher quality, probably some even more high power, you know, like 5-horse machines, stuff like that. But they work for us as a company that puts out, like I said, we do like 500 pieces a year, and at least half of that is vintage furniture that's fixed up and repainted. The other half is going to be stuff that we actually make in the shop, you know. So yeah, so we don't turn over the kind of volume that a lot of people are doing, but we, like I said, the quality side, our product's pretty expensive because it's all handmade, and we show everybody how we make it. Like, we constantly make content about how we build our furniture, how we paint our furniture, how we deliver our furniture. We're kind of an internet-based company, so it's really important that we let people know who's doing the work, how we do the work, and all those kind of things to justify the price. And it's a great way to sell your product, you know. And again, as talk is about advertising, it's an important thing that everyone is going to have to do if you want to get in the game of having your own business. You're going to have to let people know what it is you do, and especially if you're an internet-based company, it's imperative that you let everybody know who you are, what it is that you do, why you are superior than your competition, why they should buy from you, and you can't be afraid to talk your product up, you know. So, and I see a lot of people that really struggle with you know, hubris, right? They can't admit that they're the shit. Their product's amazing. They just kind of want to be a little shy, a little timid, and can't do that, you know. So anyway, that's cool. So okay, all right, Sun in here, Mr. Sun. Let's see, Erica, how close are you on watch hour? The subbed to your channel, but we're trying to hit 3,000 watch hours. We better if you hit that first. So the thing about it is, Sun, is yeah, I'm getting the watch hours. I think I'm at 1,600 now. The watch hours take a long time, especially with the kind of content that I put out, because like I'm talking about kind of a very niche kind of thing. Like it's not something that the thing about YouTube, you know, everyone thinks that YouTube is like, oh, I just started making videos about this thing that I liked and it just blew up. Like, and truth is, it doesn't work that way. Any successful YouTuber, what they do is they follow the algorithm, right? So on the back end of all of these videos, I know who's watching my videos. I know what videos get the most attention. I know what videos have the most, what they call a click-through rate, right? So most people clicking on it, watch it. I know how many people watch it for how long. So I know what kind of content will grow my channel the fastest, and it's not what I'm doing right now. But the truth is that I like doing this. You know, if I have a choice between talking about an issue of the day while I'm making furniture, I'd much rather do that than make a video about how to make my furniture. Because the truth is, and I'm being completely honest with you guys, like, I don't watch woodworking videos. I don't like watching any of them. Like the Blacktail Studio, like boring. Bourbon Moth, boring. Keith Johnson, boring. It's all boring to me. And these people get millions and millions of people watching their stuff because a lot of people are interested in that content, you know? So the truth is that I don't think I'm ever gonna grow this thing to be what it could be per se, because I don't follow the algorithm. Like for me, so the most traffic that I get when it comes to my videos, I've got a video where I made a waterfall, or some other people call it a humpback coffee table out of walnut wood. Got like 10,000 views on it, and that was real popular. I also did a video on my pin router. I think I got some like 10,000 views. Like, people like that kind of stuff. But the videos that I like to do get 100 views, 50 views, and that's just how it is. The content that I do about how to spray lacquer, you know, gets maybe 1,000 views. And the truth is, if I wanted to grow this thing, that's what I got to do. I have to make videos about how to make furniture. But the truth is, and I told you guys, how many times have I told you guys this, that the people that make their money on YouTube don't make their money on furniture, right? It's the opposite for me. I make all my money making furniture. Like, I'm a successful furniture maker. The people on YouTube are not. You know, they're successful content creators, and I'm always trying to explain this to people, and I don't think people understand this enough. There's no money in furniture for most people. In fact, it's very difficult. If I had to make furniture on my own, I would be poor. But I have a wife who has a beautiful aesthetic, and people love her designs. They love her hardware. That's why I'm the king of faux bamboo furniture. Like, you think for a second I want to make fucking faux bamboo furniture? I don't, you know, but it gets the money, right? It gets me my beautiful house on the hill. It gets me my cars that I like. You know, it keeps my wife in Chanel. You know, and the truth is that if I made the furniture I wanted to make, I have a chair over here. You know, it looks like Star Trek chair. That's the stuff that I make. I make these like MCM type painted pieces of furniture that nobody likes, you know, and that's just the reality of it. The people that make the stuff on YouTube, like these guys that make the epoxy tables, and the Keith Johnson guy, like, all these guys' furniture are shit, guys. Like, I hate to tell you this, it's all dog shit. And I don't say it because the skill isn't there and the furniture's not high quality. Like, all that stuff's great. What I'm saying is that nobody's gonna repeat buy any of that shit, you know? Like, I think, what did that bourbon mouth guy did a whiskey table? Like, no one's making a fucking whiskey table. I'm sorry. Nobody's paying you to make them a whiskey table. There might be 5 people in your lifetime that will pay you for that. I get 10 people a month that buy $5,000 credenzas from me, $8,000 credenzas from me, because they like my wife's aesthetic, right? So, son, that's kind of a long answer, but the truth is that it's very difficult to monetize the video side of it when you're really good at the furniture side. And I don't have enough time. The minute I can hire a decent furniture maker, I can probably do a little more work on the video side. But it's just time consuming, man. It's all give and take, and there's only so many hours in the day, and that's why I do this stream. Like, I just like to tell people the reality of owning a furniture company. You know, like, I'm not trying to, like, there's so many people right now that are trying to sell you guys, you know, I went from $0 to $4 million in 4 months. Like, bullshit. You know, buy my course, learn how to do advertising. Bullshit. Like, it's not how it works, guys. There's no program that you can buy that's going to give you the recipe to be successful. Now, over years, I think that is absolutely true. You can, if you stick with something long enough, I think you'll be successful. But people are just trying to get rich, selling you anything but furniture. I need to put it on a t-shirt at this point, you know, selling you anything but furniture, because it's so damn hard, you know. So anyway, sorry, son, I'm just kind of ranting. This is, that topic in and of itself is the thing that got me into making furniture. And part of me just wants to do videos mocking all of these people on YouTube, you know. And the problem is that in the woodworking space, those kind of videos don't fly. Because the truth is that anybody that wants to take the time to make a piece of furniture, whatever it might be, has my respect. Like, I think it's great. You want to make a video on making some stupid whiskey table? Like, I think it's awesome. You know, it's hard to talk shit on somebody who takes the time to acquire tools, acquire knowledge, and then build something that they think is really cool, you know. But they're never going to do what I do, which is own a company that makes furniture. And why would you want to? Like, why would you want to spend 60, 70 hours a week making furniture? It takes 40 hours a week when you can make one piece of furniture, make a video on it, make a drawing about it, and sell that drawing to 1,000 people, get ad revenue off that video, and do it for 1/10 of the work, you know. so I get it. It's just a very hard space to to make money with other than doing videos or furniture, at least for me. So anyway, sorry, man. I'm just gonna stop here, guys, and I'll go back through the comments. Okay. But son, you have a great point, man. Like I get it. I've thought about it quite a bit, and the truth is I'm going to grow the modern woodrunner. It has to be with the furniture. I can grow the talking about the business of furniture on this other thing, but the algorithms on YouTube, they kind of conflict, right? It's very hard to, YouTube doesn't know what to do with your content when you do content about making furniture, and then you do content about talking about the furniture business, right? Because all the eyeballs are on these guys making furniture that would never sell in reality, but they're very entertaining. And the algorithm wants to lump someone like me, who is the antithesis of all of that, right? Like I'm not entertaining. I just run a real company with a real website with real employees that has real fucking problems, and I don't entertain people. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give people information, have a little banter back and forth with people, and just be the real guy. I don't want to be the entertainer. I'll be the real guy, you know. So, okay. Let's see, Slipper Hound. Let's see. That's great. Let's see. That's great for customers to reference to. Yes, I hope so. Son says, can you make dumb videos about simple topics for YouTube Shorts, or does a longer vid get more watches? And that's a whole other thing. That's actually a fantastic question, Son. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to go through Son always has the freaking best questions. So I've made over 800 shorts, right? And here's the thing. So shorts get a ton. I've had shorts that have got 100,000 views, right? I have shorts that get lots of traction, but shorts count for 0 watch hours. So every time you make a 60-second short that does really well, you'll get a lot of subscribers, right? So you can, I mean, I've had videos that I've literally picked up 1,000 subscribers off one short. The problem is that people that watch shorts do not watch long form content. People that watch shorts do not watch live streams, right? It's very different audiences. But as an ad, and since we're talking about advertising, this is very, very important. You guys, if you don't take anything away from this video, take this away, okay? I've gotten a lot of sales from my YouTube shorts. And it's because what happens is that when you have a website like the Resplendent Crow, right, then we have the Modern Woodrunner website, and we also have what's called the Resplendent Home, right? So this triangle of websites, what's happened is Google has picked up that Eric Wilkin, the Modern Woodrunner, knows a lot about faux bamboo furniture, knows a lot about Dorothy Draper, a spawn of furniture, knows a lot about high gloss lacquer. And then it also knows that I'm married to Sucheta, who owns the Resplendent Crow and the Resplendent Home. And it's put us all in this funnel. So anybody that searches for faux bamboo furniture, I'm going to show up. The Resplendent Crow is going to show up. And a lot of this has to do with shorts, right? Another thing is Instagram Reels. All these things coupled together have put the Resplendent Crow at the top of a lot of searches. Hollywood Regency furniture, painted furniture, lacquered furniture, pink dressers, faux bamboo furniture, Dorothy Draper furniture, all these kind of things. I get more Dorothy Draper action than the people that own the license, which is Kindle Furniture in Michigan. And it's because of all the content that we put out. And this is how advertising has changed so much. Search, which is what this is all about, is more important than advertising. But it really helps you on the advertising side if you show up really high on the organic algorithm search. So that's another long answer, Son. But yeah, it's so shorts don't help at all grow your channel unless you are like really good at shorts. You do just shit ton of them. That'll help. So it's basically videos. Live streams are okay. I hadn't figured out what people watch live streams versus videos versus shorts, but I'm working on it. So that's kind of what's going on there. Okay. So Batchy Crazy or Batchy, good to see you, man. Glad to see you're here. So it's a done video. This is my fave. Insert tool. Yeah, and that's like there's a lot of guys. There's another guy in here. His name's 731 Woodworking or Woodworks or something like that. And that's all this guy does is do tool reviews and things like that. And honestly, none of that shit interests me. I don't want to tell people what great tools are. Truth is, all tools are good. There really isn't a lot of bad tools. The truth is that all these people on YouTube, the best tools are the people that are paying them to talk about them. And that's really how the game works. If you guys look at any tool reviewers, they're all sponsored. They're all given tools, right, to talk about them. And the companies like that kind of stuff because it gets eyeballs on their tools. And the truth is that somehow they're all just fantastic tools for the most part. Nobody ever has, like, if I was to take like take like a Festool sander and a Mirka sander, right? People would say, you know, Festool's really good, and other people would say Mirka sander's good, right? But if I was going to do a review on those two sanders, because I've had both of them, I've worked with them for a long time, I would tell you that Mirka is absolute shit, right? And the truth is that that's like 50% true, right? Because the quality of a Mirka sander and a Festool sander is exactly the same, right? They're exactly the same. There's no difference. The quality, they both start slow, they stop slow, right? They're both torquey, they're both, you know, speed controlled, they're meant to be repaired. These are production-based tools, right? But the reason the Mirka sucks is because you can't just send it off and get it back super easy, right? No one comes and picks up your Mirka sander, fixes it, and then brings it back to you, right? Whereas Festool does that every step of the way. So as a business owner or someone that does a high production situation, I don't want to be sending my tools out to be repaired. I want people to come pick them up, fix them, and then bring them back to me, right? Because I got a shop to run. I can't be dealing with that shit, right? So Festool has cornered the market on this, and Mirka, if they really gave a shit about their customers, would do the same thing. But that review is never going to get made because the people that are doing this work don't have production environments, right? These are not professionals. These are professional content creators, you know, which is cool, but they don't know anything about tools. They don't know the longevity of a tool. I mean, the people that do track saws, like no professional uses a track saw. Like we just don't. Like if someone asks me to make a 15-foot table, I'm still not using a fucking track saw, man. Like it's just not going to happen. You know, I'd say we just don't use these kind of tools. But the people that are making this content show this kind of stuff, and it gets talked about, it gets used, it gets bought. It's a really weird game that you have to play on YouTube. You know, to be quite honest with you, son, it's just not. It's not what it should be, but it is what it is. So, okay, let's see. Oh, all right, we got Yuma back in here. Let's see here. I got a shack on top of the hill. Not sure what that shack is. What you mean there? Hoping means you got a nice place on the hill. That's great. It's the place to be, man. So I think it's where everyone wants to be. Get that nice view. All right. Let's see. Novik. Let's see. I only use linoleum. Let's see. There's so much more time-consuming than lacquer, but so easy to maintain. I don't know what linoleum is. You might have to fill me in on that one. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Linoleum? I've never heard of that. You know, and I think the other thing you're talking about is lacquer. Yeah, and lacquer is, like I said, we use lacquer for 9 years at this point, and lacquer's always been a very predictable, very consistent product, which I think is what makes it great. We've used it for forever. I've talked in videos past. We're incorporating polyurethane into our finish. So one of the tricks to getting a really nice, beautiful lacquer finish that is high gloss that, you know, all the chicks love is you have to put on a base coat like a car, right? You put that base coat on, and then you have to put a top coat on, and that top coat is going to be some kind of a clear. It can be clear lacquer, it can be, you know, clear polyurethane, whatever. But what we've learned over the years is that lacquer makes the best base coat, right? But then you top coat it with polyurethane, and polyurethane gives you the best finish. So you're going to get a little bit more longevity out of it. It dries much faster. There's no smell to it. It can be shipped very quickly. It's a fantastic product, and it's nominally more expensive than lacquer. It's actually impressive. The color for polyurethane is significantly more expensive, but the clear is about the same as lacquer by itself. So it's that's something that we're doing, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. I hope to get that shit in here. I've been trying to get that stuff in here for weeks at this point, and I was told that basically we have to have another signature done, and then we can finally get that product brought in here to our shop and start spraying full time with it, you know. So hopefully that'll happen here before too long. So anyway, okay, so Yuma, let's see, with a lot of project cars inside. Yeah, that's what you want, man. That's what I want. So I got a 5-car garage. I got a 2-car garage upstairs, and then down the hill on the bottom of my house, I got a 3-car garage with a panoramic view of the river. It's freaking amazing. I'll talk about any chance I get, because it's literally why I bought the house. You open up the garage and it's just river. It's amazing. Yeah, that's all I do. I just work on my cars. And actually, I've only got one in there right at the moment. But I think my Audi comes back. I think it's going to come back this week finally. But yeah, love working on cars, and it's awesome. Like that's all I want to do is tinker with cars, work on my house a little bit, build furniture. That's good, man. So it sounds like you had a good setup there, Yuma. Okay, son, let's see. I just imagine how nice it would be to have passive income from YouTube. especially since you're past halfway there. YouTube is just hard in general. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And passive income is, I won't say it's not real. It is real, but it's not forever. Like people always talk about things like real estate's a real popular one. People, buy rental properties and you get a management company to take care of them. And I did that when I lived in Wichita, Kansas, and it was okay. Yeah, you can, rent the house out forever, collect that check, but the truth is that when it comes to like rental property, the truth is that the time you get paid is actually when you sell the house, right? You get someone else to pay that thing off for you for a while, and yeah, maybe you could get some passive income out of it, a couple $100 or whatever. But then when you sell it, that's when you actually really get paid. But I think that the new administration is going to be working with the tax code quite a bit, and I think that there might be more advantages to owning property because that Trump guy is a real estate guy. So I don't know. Like I've never found an easy way to make money. We've looked at buying other businesses, and my wife's really into that kind of stuff. She likes the idea of buying another company that already has an established brand, and using that business to bring in passive type income. Some people, talk about stocks and dividends and things like that. Like I used to own a bunch of Marathon Oil. That paid a dividend, but man, you gotta have, I don't know, 100,000 shares to make any real kind of passive income. And at $28 a share, I mean, that's a lot of money. So yeah, passive income's tricky, and everyone talks about it. Like the responsibility bros are always talking about how you gotta, live on 75 cents of every dollar and stuff like that. And just never been good at it, And again, that's why I do these streams and I talk to you guys the way that I talk to you. I'm not selling anything, I don't understand the passive income thing as well as other people do, and I've never found an easy way to make money. And people, like I said, people talk about buying businesses and all that kind of stuff, and maybe we'll go down that road. But truth is that I like working. I've always liked working. I've always liked working with furniture. I've done it my entire life, and the love is still there today. I still wake up ready to go to work. 45 years old, and you can do it. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just wired differently. So anyway, but yeah, so I do think about that. My wife thinks about that. We're getting older. Like I said, I've got 15 years, son. I've got 15 years to process and organize this company enough to where someone would potentially want to come in and buy it, or my kids would want to run it, and we could, just take some passive income as you're talking about it out of it, those kind of things. I've got a house that's nicer than I should have ever been able to afford. I could probably sell that thing and make enough to retire on. I mean, by the time I'm ready to sell that thing, it probably would, it would be a lot of money, So that'd be a really cool idea, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a financial guy. I waste my money. I like gambling. I like cars. When I was younger, I liked women. I like alcohol. I'm just a normal guy, man. I don't get a boner talking about saving my money. I never have, and I never will. And I know that a lot of people on YouTube are making tons of money telling people how to be responsible, but I can't do it. It's not real. It's not who I am, and I've never claimed to be that, and I'll never claim to be that. So anyway, if you guys are in the discussion at this point, we'll keep going through the comments. Like I said, I'll talk about all your comments. I'll read them all. Hit the like button, add a discussion, and continue to bring it. We started off talking about advertising. Now we're talking about income. We're talking about YouTube, and that's what we do. We talk about all kinds of fun stuff on here, and it's just a good way to, again, connect with people. Gives me a break from making furniture, and clearly people like to have conversations and talk on YouTube, so I enjoy doing it with you guys. Okay, okay, more stuff from Sun here. My mom always falls for those scams. She's against her friends, made $200,000 while she set up a blood sample or chemical. Yeah, and yeah, everyone's trying to tell you how to get rich, and there are people that know how to do it, and I'm sure if I would have been more responsible younger in life and followed some of the wisdom, I guess, of the smart people, maybe I'd be in a different situation. But I wouldn't. I like my life. I don't have a ton of money in the bank, but I got really nice shit. I got a really nice business. I got a really nice house. I got some nice cars. But I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a retirement account. My retirement account is my business. I put everything I have into this business. And if my business were to go belly up, right, like during the pandemic, right, if the government told me I had to shut down, like I would probably go to war with the government. Like that's all I have, and that's the position that I'm in, and that's again why I do these talks, right? It's okay to not be super responsible and not have it all figured out, and I think it's important for people to tell it like it is, That's just this is what it is. So Let's see here. And son, to your point, we still get emails and telephone calls from people in Nigeria, right? That want to buy our furniture and send us money, but they'll send you too much money. They want you to send them back the difference. That scam that's been going on since like the start of the internet. We still get that shit. Okay, let's see. Nobody says I'm a good woodworker. How can I earn $4 million a year or just $1,000 a month? So the thing is, you got a couple ways to make money as a furniture maker, and I've talked about it. So the way that we make money and the way that I've been able to do this is I've always been an exceptional furniture maker. I've always made, I've always made between $60,000 and $100,000 a year my entire life building furniture. So furniture always paid fairly well, and it's been good to me. You get to, especially when you work in aerospace, because everything's light, right? It's all honeycomb sandwich panels. So sheets of what we would call plywood, which are just sandwich panels, weigh like 5 pounds, right? Whereas a sheet of plywood weighs 50 pounds. Everything's climate controlled, right? Everything has to be at a perfect temperature, so that's really nice. You always have the best tools, the best dust collection, the best noise suppression technology. Everything's clean and painted. And other people do all the maintenance, which is really nice. But the way that I'm able to make money now and grow my income is I do the same thing, right? I still make furniture. We make it by hand. We make it one piece at a time. But what we've done is we've improved our clientele, and the truth is that it takes a long time, right? You can't just do it. You have to do it literally one client at a time, and it sounds ridiculous, but in 8 years, we've went from making, like I said, probably, I'm trying to think, hold on guys, I gotta think about this for a second. Probably went from making $150,000 a year in revenue to doing $2.5 million in revenue, and that's over 8 or 9 years at this point. And it's not every year. Some years are less, some years are more. But the average price that we would charge for a dresser when I first came, it was like $700-800. Like it wasn't very much. Now I sell dressers for $8,000, and it's because we built up the quality of the stuff that we built. We built up the quality of our finish, right? And the important thing, guys, and pay attention to this, is we showed everybody. We showed everybody what we make, how we make it, who we are, how we live, who our employees are, and we did that consistently over the years, right? So more and more people wanted to buy our stuff. Well, a person that, whatever, has an income of $500,000 buys your piece of furniture, well, then they show it to their friend. And maybe their friend has $200,000 income, or they have $5 million income, right? And then you get one of those people. And you just kind of stair step this thing up to where you're getting better clients, right? Then you can start charging more money. I mean, I've got musicians, politicians, entertainers, all these people as clients, right? Not all, I don't have a lot of them, I have some of them. But the point is that you build up this clientele of people, and that's how you get paid as a furniture maker, right? If you want to be someone who makes really high quality, well-known stuff, you're kind of the celebrity in a way. Now, if you want to make it from a business owner standpoint, you got to basically find a product, like say it's, well, the easiest thing is kitchens, right? We'll say kitchens, right? Because everyone talks about kitchens. You basically have to have a bunch of designs. You got to buy the software, right? Because everything's software done now. People don't design kitchens on their own. It's all done by designers and software. You got to have really nice CNCs. You got to have CNC programmers, operators, stuff like that. People that understand CAD and CAM, right? Which these are two different things. But you have to have enough money to have all of those things in a nice facility, and then you can start whipping out kitchens. You can start whipping out vanities, new construction type stuff, and again, build up enough name with designers and general contractors, home builders and stuff like that. You can get some staple clients, repeat clients, things like that. These guys will pay you over the years, and you can make less money per piece, but because you're making so many pieces, you can make an infinite amount of money. I mean, and those are the only two ways I know to make a lot of money in the furniture or the cabinet game. You can do something kind of in the middle, but it's never worked for me. Like I told you guys, I've been very honest about this. We did millions of dollars in COVID. I pushed out 1,500 pieces in 1 year, and I made no money. I lost everything because I was paying it to my employees to work shit tons of overtime. I was selling my furniture for not enough money because we didn't know any better. We didn't have the experience. But now we'll probably do a mil 2, mil 5, something like that this year, somewhere in there. But I'll probably end up making $250,000, maybe something, maybe 150, 250 grand. That's probably what I'll end up making this year, because we get more money out of every piece that we build, and that's all I know. I mean, I don't have the secrets to doing this kind of stuff. Also, my wife is really good at advertising, really good marketing. She knows all the really good clients. So when someone says, I really like your credenza that's $5,000, would you take 3,700? Back in the day, we would say yes, because we wanted the work, we wanted the revenue bump. But today we'd say no, not a chance. Like, no way. It's not going to do it. We might give you, I don't know, $500 off maybe, but we don't discount anything anymore, right? And the other thing that we did that really helped our business is we got into this groove, I guess, of making vanities for people out of old furniture, because we started this business as a vintage furniture company. We used to buy and sell a lot of vintage furniture, and we paint it, send it all over America. Well, people started doing the vanities, right? Everyone wanted vanity that was like an old dresser, right? Or an old chest of some kind of bachelor's chest, so like commode. And we'd take the furniture off, we'd gut the inside of it, we'd put doors where the drawers are, drawers where the doors are, all these kind of things, and we'd make it to where you could put a sink in there, right? Drop some plumbing down, and we got kind of known for this stuff. We'd start adding legs and feet to things, and that work, while it's fun, you make no money at it. Like, it just, at the end of the day, you could be spending your time making something that's worth a lot more money, So anyway, I don't know if this helps you guys. I feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point. I hope some of this stuff is good for you, but yeah, honestly, man, as a woodworker, if you want to be a woodworker that is known for making high quality stuff, that's why I would do it. If you want to be the business owner and you don't care about making the furniture, you don't care about being the best of whatever it is you do, you just want to make a lot of shit, there's the business side of it, and you can make a ton of money that way. But that's the only way that I know how to do it. It's very difficult to scale furniture companies, and a lot of them go bust. I mean, it's one of those things that super low barrier to entry. I mean, you just need a garage and some tools. Very difficult to make money at as you try and scale that thing up. So anyway, sorry guys, I know it's a long freaking answer. Okay, let's see, we got Kristen Hunter in here. Kristen, good to see you. Glad you're here. Hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate everyone's time today. Let's see. Okay, sorry, Novak, I got to you already. So we'll go back to Sun. Okay, Sun says, my theory on shorts is they might have hidden power because even though there's a billion people making shorts, still avoiding content for woodworking in general. Everything's to get more eyeballs. Yeah, no, that's true, and that's what I was telling you, Son. Like, when I was doing lots of shorts, like I said, I was doing 2 shorts a day on YouTube for a long time, and I was doing a reel on Instagram. So I was doing like 3 of these things a day for a long time while making videos. Like, I really did put in the work. And truth is that I was able to grow the subscribers like big time, but they're not converting to watch hours, and that's a bummer. Like, you spend all that time, but it did help me when it came to the advertising and the organic search on Google, and especially Google's algorithms, so that was really helpful. If you did a search for Dorothy Draper, very well-known piece of furniture. The license is, like I said, is owned by Kindle, a legacy furniture company. It's been around for like 125 years. My searches come up first. My business comes up first. My videos come up first before the people that make the damn thing, right? So that's kind of the power I've seen in shorts. But there's no money to be made on the YouTube side, in my opinion. And I've heard lots of people say that you shouldn't do shorts and long-form content. The two don't gel well together, So I don't know. That's all I've got, man. Okay, let's see. Danovic says, I only use Makita for one reason, because the first tool I ever had, first battery I got was Makita. I felt professional and use a track saw whenever I can. Yeah, it's Makita. I remember Makita had the really long batteries. Like, I remember using Makitas back. Makitas were the shit. They were like the only tool. They were basically like the Fest tool before Festool was even really a company. But yeah, we used to use all those drills. I remember those. They were heavy. But yeah, the batteries were like, those are like 8 or 9 inches long. Like, whoa. I mean, it's like I forget what all, like, what's that like? It's like 9 inches, something like that. But anyway, yeah, like, Makita was amazing. And yeah, I get lots of people use track saws. I was probably a little bit rude in that thing. Like, I get the track saws are a thing, and people use them, and they have a place, no doubt about it. But yeah, whatever tools you use as a professional are the tools that you use, and everybody uses kind of another thing. Like one of the tools I use a lot, which I don't see a lot of woodworkers pushing, or I use what's called a farrier rasp. Like I use this tool all the time, and anyone that doesn't know what a farrier rasp is the thing that you use to grind hooves on horses, right? When you're putting horseshoes on horses, right? They got the metal shoe on the bottom. They'll pull that old shoe off. They'll use that farrier rasp because they've got actual pad on their feet. They'll use that farrier rasp to grind down the foot and get all the schmuck and stuff that's on the hoof over the years, and then they could put a new metal shoe on there, you know. So I use one of those in furniture making all the time, you know. But yeah, you're probably not gonna see one using a farrier rasp for furniture making. So anyway, yeah, tools are tools, man. Let's see. Oh, lin oil. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about in your industry, in the nautical industry, talking about linseed oil. You know, it's as old as woodworking. You know, so it's tried and true, and it's a good product. But yeah, I don't use it. Like I said, I'm doing a lot more stain furniture now, so I'm actually messing with a lot of different kinds of finishes for my stain furniture. But that's it's a whole different ball of wax. So there's a lot to learn there. So maybe linseed oil is something I gotta try. Okay, it takes around 8 to 10 days to get a good result. So I guess with linseed oil, do you just put on one coat? Do you put on multiple applications, kind of build it up? Do you have to polish it out? Is it just kind of do you do like a high grit sand at the very last of it to get a nice smooth finish? I don't know much about it. Like so I've woodworked forever. A lot of people use a lot of different kinds of finishes, but I've never really been the finishing guy. It's just not really been my job. I've generally been the craft person, the builder per se, you know, the guy that makes the stuff. So okay, let's see. I'm also wondering if your finish would stick to metal. Yeah. So lacquer sticks to metal. The most important thing though is the primer, right? So you got to use the right kind of primer if you're going to use metal. And the truth is that the thing about metal is metal really conducts heat a lot. If metal gets really warm, it doesn't expand and contract the way that wood does, but it still does expand and contract. And I've seen to where if you don't use a really good primer, right, you don't etch that surface and get a good bond with your primer, I've seen it many times where the primer will lift off the metal and thus your lacquer will lift off of that. So we don't generally paint a lot of metal, but we'll do it from time to time. It just kind of depends on what needs to be done, but it's not something that we generally do. I would be nervous about doing too much painted metal, but it absolutely can be painted, and it generally has to be kept indoors. Outdoors is not going to work for lacquer. It just won't. It can't stand up to all the expanding and contracting. Eventually, it just starts to crack. Like lacquer is very hard, like an M&M candy shell. You can't really like peel it off. It just breaks. You know, so it's kind of a different finish. So like your home paints, like your latex paints, they're more rubbery. They can stand up to expansion and contraction really well, but lacquer doesn't do that. So that's lacquer. Okay, that sounds weird. When you buy a house here, so you get all the money from day one, and the buyer earns the bank the money, not me. That sounds weird. When you buy a house here, you get all the money from day one, and the buyer earns the bank the money, not me. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. We just do things differently here. America's an interesting place. Like we're a debt-based economy. Like everybody has loans for everything here. Nobody buys anything. It's really weird here in America. Like no one ever says, well, you know, if you're going to buy a car, like say you're going to go buy whatever, you know, a Volvo, right? No one ever says, well, you know, how much is the car, right? It's always, what is the payment going to be, you know? And it's that way with everything. Same thing with houses. Nobody really cares about the purchase price of a home so much. They just want to know what the payment's going to be, you know? So I think things get ready to change here in America. Everyone's about ready to run out of credit, you know? So a lot of people are going to have to start buying things with cash again, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Sell a house. See, I'm retired. The money I get is enough. That's amazing. Yeah, and it's nice when you don't have a bunch of payments because you don't have to make a ton of money, right? And that's one of the things. I was supposed to do a video. A lot of people talk about being debt free and not having payments and how nice it would be to not have payments and debt and stuff like that. And I was supposed to do a video here a couple weeks ago. I titled the video, I've been debt free and I felt nothing. And the purpose of that video was to tell people that being debt free is kind of an illusion, at least from my point of view. Not having debt means that you don't have much stuff, right? You can, don't get me wrong. But when I was debt free, like I felt nothing. Like everyone always says, oh, it's like a burden lift off my shoulders, and I was amazed. I'm never going to go back to that. And the truth is, I never felt that way. Like I still had my junky cars that I like to work on. And at that time I had an apartment and then I had a house, no credit card debt, none of that stuff, not just nothing. And I didn't feel anything about it, and I think once I was debt free, it wasn't too long before I went and just got back into debt. I went and I think I bought like a Jeep Cherokee or something like that. I bought a nice Jeep Cherokee or something like that. I don't remember what the hell it was. I don't even remember because it doesn't matter. But again, like I never had a problem making money. Like never been rich, but just I never really been in that situation where like bill collectors are calling me. I can't pay my bills. I don't know where I'm going to get money for this, money for that. Like always just had just enough money, So this idea of being debt free, I can't even like fathom why people get excited about that kind of stuff. It just like if my house was paid off, I would just buy another. I've been wanting a McLaren. Like I would just go buy a McLaren. Like that's what I would do. Like the idea of just putting money into my bank and just leaving it there in case shit happens. In case shit happens, well, I just go make more money. Like it's a weird thing to say, and no one wants to say this kind of stuff. I get it, but that's just how I've always looked at it, So I don't know, man. It's just how I am. Okay, let's see. For working as a volunteer I think that's cool, man. Like volunteer is super important, and if I could volunteer, I would actually volunteer to teach people how to make things. I'd be happy to volunteer to teach people how to make stuff, make furniture, things like that. I think that would feel really good. But I also know how people are, and people are like, I don't know if I could volunteer to help people that didn't want to help themselves. Like that's something I got a real problem with, because a lot of people are given opportunities in life and they don't do anything with them, or they fuck them up. Basically, I've done a lot of talks. Sorry, guys, an itcher. I've done a lot of talks about how people have become unemployable. A lot of people have become unemployable, and it's a real problem. And with volunteering, I would hope that the people that you're volunteering to help, or the people that you're volunteering to be around, the things you're volunteering to do, people really appreciate it, because I think then it would be very rewarding. Because truth is that when you pay people to do something, they don't appreciate shit, and that's really sad. It's too bad. You give them a paycheck, you teach them a valuable skill, and they don't. I mean, they could care less. They'll still fucking rob you. They'll lie to your face. They'll tell you you're whatever, racist, sexist, some kind of ist. They'll try and put it on you, and that sucks. That really sucks. And I hope that with volunteering it's not that way. But man, I don't know. I haven't had that experience yet. So anyway, but sounds like you're a good dude and you're doing something really cool, and you're gonna work on some cool projects, man. I'd love to see that boat, man. That's 135 feet that's massive, man. That's what an undertaking. So very cool project. All right, Michael Brown. Bulldog is the worst drill press. Changed my mind. Michael, I don't even know what Bulldog drill press is. I got no idea. I don't know what most tools are, to be quite honest with you. Again, like that's the thing when I talk about when I do these videos. Like a lot of people, they kind of like to jerk off to tool reviews, and they like to jerk off to furniture making, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna make this, and I want this tool. There's always the videos of the wives making fun of the husbands, and oh, I needed this new tool. Like I'm not that way. Like I don't care. You can give me the shittiest tool, I'll make you the nicest piece of furniture. It doesn't matter. You give me the nicest tool, I'll still make you the nicest piece of furniture. And I say that because I had a buddy who was it's not the tool that makes the builder, right? It's the builder, and a nice tool doesn't do jack shit. A nice tool is nice, but a master craftsperson can make a nice thing with anything. And that's the honest to God truth. And I say that, here's a quick story. So I had this guy who, his name was Gail, and man, he would always play guitar, and he was just an amazing guitar player. And I always thought, like, man, I want to play guitar. And this guy literally inspired me to play guitar. And I was playing this. I got my first guitar. It was this piece of shit. It was like an Ibanez. I want to say it was called like a Gio, like G-I-O. I think I paid like $200 for it. I bought it brand new from a little guitar shop. And anyway, Gail would play all these. He always had these really nice like Ibanez, Japanese models, and he had like Strat, Fender Strat, stuff like that. He always had really nice guitars, and I always thought, man, I wish I had a nice guitar like Gail. I could play like Gail. If I had a Clapton Strat, I could play like Clapton. And there was this idea in my head that if I had better equipment, it would make me sound better, it would make me play better. Well, eventually I would tell Gail about this, and Gail would be like, ah, fuck that, man. Like, it doesn't matter what you got, and Gail, he'd play his, beautiful Ibanez, whatever prestige model, and then he'd take my piece of shit $200 guitar, sounded exactly the same. It wasn't the instrument that was the thing. It was the person holding it, and it's the same thing with tools. Like I said, I just told you guys, like, I build furniture with a Farrier rasp. Like I buy them used on eBay for like $20. Like it's not the $1,000 tool that makes you great at what you do. It's knowing how to use it. And you know how to use anything, you can be good at anything. So anyway, that's a marketing thing. So, but anyway, that's cool, man. It sounds like you got a great life over there. And like I said, very cool job, man. I'm super envious. I hope one day I can get a boat and do the same thing you're doing, and just rebuild it. And I think it'd be fantastic. So, okay. Oh yeah, that's right, Hawali. I know about this. So, are you the? I don't remember if you're the same. Are you the same guy? I don't think your name doesn't look like it's the same. I think I've talked to you before. I think you've been on here maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think we were talking about World War II quite a bit. And we were talking with a guy from Switzerland who apparently was talking about like all the bunkers. Are you the same guy? Because that Hawali, you were the guy that was telling me about all the crazy wood that you guys grow over there that's just for shipbuilding, and it's like grown on a hill, like really crazy stuff. I was it's like really like, it was called like Navy wood or something like that. Like it was freaking insane. I was kind of blown away by it, to be quite honest with you. Okay, that doesn't shine. Let's see, when you go over with steel wool, I remember steel oils are flammable and glossy. Oh yeah. A lot of people talk about using was like triple aught steel wool for that kind of stuff to give it that it's almost like a matte type finish. Yeah, we don't do anything like that. It's not part of what we do. So truth is, the way our finishes work is we'll even with stain products, we'll take lacquer, we'll lacquer the top of it, and we'll build up the lacquer enough to where it can be wet sanded and polished. And we'll take that stained product and we'll put a beautiful high gloss mirror shine on top of it, just like they do in jets. And that's, so if you ever look at a private jet and look at the interior on it, a lot of times it's gonna have a really high gloss finish on it over the veneer, right? And the truth is that in jets, they generally use what are called polyester finishes. We use nitrocellulose lacquers, but they look amazing, and that's the kind of product that we put out. It's very unique. It has a very high-end look. Our furniture doesn't look like your traditional furniture brands, Century, Hickory, Kindle, any of these like legacy type companies. Our shit doesn't look like anything like that. It's very unique, but it's very high-end, and it just is what it is. So anyway, let's see here. Let's go to the last comment. Now, guys, I probably got to get out of here. Let's see here. I sailed on her. We start working on her for years. One of the boats I worked on. Yeah, I've seen this. I haven't seen it. It's something I need to look up. But someone else was talking about this, and I don't remember if it was you. I think they had a different name. I don't remember this guy's name exactly. But that project sounds very familiar. Let's see. No, if you do linseed oil right, it's glossy like lacquer. Okay, well that's cool, man. I appreciate you letting me know. Again, I don't do anything like that. I haven't used linseed oil in that way, but I'm happy to mess around with. Like I said, I'm always looking to learn new things. Yeah, when I get bored in the shop, like I'll literally just start working on random shit just to kind of occupy. I got ADD, like it just kind of occupy my time, and I'm always up for learning new things. So that sounds cool. So it sounds like I need to mess around with a little bit of linseed oil and see what I can come up with. So man, I appreciate that, and I'll do that. I'll talk about it. Hell, give me a week or two, and I'll report back on my progress in learning how to use linseed oil. So yeah, I've been around forever, so it must work. So anyway, guys, I probably need to get out of here. I appreciate everyone hanging out, spending the time. Looks like I made it about almost 80 minutes, which is pretty good talk. But like I said, advertising, guys, like advertising is changing. The world is changing. People aren't putting up with the societal engineering and the fake advertising and the shaming of advertising. People are people. Like, you can't change the way men are. You can't change the way that women are. Sex is the best seller that's ever existed. It will always be the best thing that's ever existed. Anyone that tells you different and tries to shame you that sex doesn't sell doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's just the reality of it. So anyway, y'all have a fantastic day. We'll do this again tomorrow. Who knows what the hell we'll talk. We'll talk about something. So yeah, Denmark. Yeah, amazing. So I'll yak to you guys later.